Hello and welcome to a new episode of ControlUp Ultimate Labs. I'm Benny Tritsch and my guest today is Sam Legrand. Sam, introduce yourself, please.
Hello. So Samuel Legrand. I'm French, as you can hear maybe with my accent. The main thing here we are going to cover is my lab, and I'm using it as an independent consultant around the Citrix technologies or remote desktop technologies, and I'm also using it for just testing ControlUp things, as I'm also a pre-sales there. So,
yeah, wonderful. So you are a CTP like I am. This is how we got to know each other.
So I'm based just at the border of Paris. So it's called Issy-les-Moulineaux. It's a nice city, like 2 minutes from Paris. You can see the Eiffel Tower. When talking about a lab, that's something to mention to everyone, but the place is limited in Paris. So a common apartment is about 50 square meter. I'm lucky, I have 25 more, but it's still a small thing.
That means for your lab that you have that limited space, and you need to make sure that it is family compatible, which means not too noisy and not too big.
Yeah, we when I started to look for a lab, I had to pick between multiple solutions, and Stefan, another CTP, made this a good review about hosting himself a lab with a few NUCs, or renting a space in a data center, or running on Azure, or whatever you want to, the cloud provider you want to use. And at the end, it's all about costs. And as I wanted my lab to be available when I want. So when I'm traveling, I want to access to it, and I don't want to shut down everything every time I'm stopping something, going back. So cloud was not an option. I'm not in a production environment. I don't want to play with or to do testing about stress performance or things like this. I want to reproduce environments. I want it to be redundant, at least 2 or 3 servers. So that was the specs or the definition of the lab. And then I wanted to be, as I'm at ControlUp, but at other customers as well, I'm focused on multi-tenancy. I like to test things at scale. And so I needed VLANs because I want to do multi-tenancy. So basically hosting multiple infrastructure in the same physical network. And so I needed a switch that is capable of managing VLANs. So
okay. So you have a managed switch and you have a couple of NUCs.
Yeah, basically Intel NUCs like this. So this one. And the Intel NUCs was the right choice. At the beginning, it was only with 32 gigs of RAM, but since a year and a half, maybe 2 years, you can put 32 gigs RAM on it. So now I'm 64 gigs of RAM. This is the lab, the Lexan Home Lab. And as you can see, 3 NUCs, one not responding, still on my desk. For Home Lab, I would recommend to stick to not use this advanced technology, storage technologies. And I'm fine using the local disk of each NUC. I do run vCenter. This is vCenter because I have multiple NUCs to manage if I want to. But I would not recommend to use the vSAN. It's running fine, but if you have any issue with the material or with the electricity going down, this kind of thing, there is much more risk to lose your data. It's fine for me. It was fine for me because it's just a demo environment and there is no production. If I look at the physical adapter, the NUC here comes with only one network port, which is cool for a NUC because it's at the beginning, the main purpose of it is to play with it. It's a gaming PC from what I understood from Intel, which is strange because the GPU is not good at all, but it's a GPU machine without a good GPU.
Yeah, that's true.
And but it's good enough for me, and I'm using a VUSB network card, and basically it's a USB stick with let's convert to RJ45, so Ethernet, USB to Ethernet, and I usually put 2 of them on each. That way I have 3 cards per NUC, but as you see, there is only 2 there, so I can add 1 more depending on the project I'm working on. There is a small tip on that. You need to install a Fling from VMware. Mm-hmm. So by default, the USB, as VMware is a production tool, not a lab tool, but you can find on the VMware website a place where you can find the drivers for USB sticks, network USB card. And funny thing that it works without the Fling installed, like without the driver, but it's only 100 megs per second, and it's half duplex.
Yeah. And what I also see here, there are the ControlUp VMs running on that first NUC monitor and IOP.
I've done a lot of testing around ControlUp. I've been like one of the guy who pushed a lot for multi-tenancy. So with you, so
I know.
we play that game, and I spend a lot of times to try it out and get the right things done. Try to make the people doing the right things, and at least the one I think are the right things. Basically, I have a Citrix Cloud Connector, and one server OS machine.
So one worker, yes.
Yeah, one worker, super easy. I had some project where I worked on MCS or PVS. Of course, there was much more infrastructure needed and much more machine templates and everything. But as of now, it's just to test the protocol or to trick the policies and everything. So I need only one machine as of now.
And a Citrix ADC, so a NetScaler.
Yeah, NetScaler is also running on the infrastructure. So the switch I picked, the prerequisites was no noise, so fanless. I went fanless on the switch.
Okay,
so it's a small Netgear.
Good.
Super easy to configure. There is the VLAN, that is the main reason why I had a managed switch. And I have like a couple of VLANs, so you can see that usually I stick to the default one and the 20 and 21, which are like customer 1 and customer 2.
Okay.
But for ControlUp, one time I went to 10 customer, and we tried it out. So between the VLAN 1 and the VLAN 20, if we go to the VMware vSphere console, we will see that I have a 1M machine, and there is one machine that is sitting on both VLANs. So that's another trick that I'm going to share with you. Mm-hmm. We are running, and I am running a machine that is emulating a WAN. And the idea is
you're simulating a wide area network between those different VLANs.
Yeah, the good thing, so it's from Tata Consulting Services. It's a freeware, so it's good enough for me. You can have basic mode, which is just basically adding latency and bandwidth, latency delay. That's it.
Yes.
I tend to use advanced mode because there are a couple of things more. There are quite a few that I'm not understanding well, to be honest, but that's fine. There is a documentation for that. I'm sticking right now to the bandwidth, which is quite easy to understand.
Yes.
T1 is like a very old name for data connection, but I'm old enough to know it. The delay is like the added millisecond that you will have for each packet.
Basically, the round trip time.
No.
Is it the time in one direction
way.
or round trip?
One way.
One way. Okay.
So because you can add it here and in the other network card, so you can choose if you want to add slowness to the uplink or to the downlink.
Yes.
And the jitter is basically how much the delay will change in the time. So yes, that's an important thing, because if you have a constant delay, most of the remoting protocol will adapt themselves. The other thing that is really important is the packet loss. So basically you can add, and the good thing is that if you take one machine and you start to ping, you will see packet loss. I have a slow machine, so it's, as it's a slow machine, it's running Windows. Windows Server 2019, and I deployed the HDX agent on it, and we should be able to see it in the console right here. And the good thing, this is the one, yeah. So if I scroll down, see, so the 150 millisecond of latency is well shown here. We can definitely see that there is something going on. And you see the white space here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so these are the packet drops. The issue is not between my machine and the first router, which is the 1M machine.
Yes.
But in between this one, the 0.1 and the 0.2, which is my physical router. So between here and here, there is a problem.
You would recommend that people start using a WAN emulator to test that kind of scenarios?
These kind of scenarios, sometimes you just want to try the user experience. I added a proxy, and the proxy is important. I was using before Fiddler, but I had an issue at a customer where I had an issue. I deployed Fiddler on it, and the issue went away. Since this time, I said, okay, I will invest a bit of time to deploy a proxy. And the nice thing of this proxy is kind of simple. It's a virtual appliance. There is a free version. You can also pay for extra features. You can see the requests real time. So that's nice, because you know what the machine or the tool that you just deployed is doing on the internet.
This is wonderful. So another recommendation. So install a proxy, a network proxy, and it allows you to see what's going on your network regarding the outbound communication.
Yeah, that's another trick.
So you're running it in a separate room? It's not in the living room?
No, it's not on the living room. It's it's on a cabinet in the entry, where there are like the electricity parts.
Oh, good.
So it's this of dev, like it sits on an IKEA shelf.
Okay.
Small one. Maintenance.
Yes.
It's like there is nothing. Sometimes I take a small spray to remove the dust of the fans. You know?
The maintenance is removing the dust. Good.
Yeah,
that's a nice quote.
yeah. That's important. And the only spare things that I changed fans, because when you're running on a cabinet, that can be a lot of dust, and if you're not cleaning it every few weeks or months,
the fans are gonna die. Yes.
Yeah, I tried it.
My question now is there something you would like to change? Is there something on your wish list that you want to add to your lab infrastructure?
The thing that I missed the most on my NUC is when something goes wrong, there is no display, no screen, and no keyboard, no mouse, nothing. And a small KVM will be definitely added, and there will be a dedicated screen for the lab, because as of now I'm moving the TV, so it's not family compatible.
So it's really running headless, because you said it's in a cabinet, so there's nothing else in there. So the NUCs are running headless, and you want to add a monitor and keyboard and mouse using a KVM switch. Okay.
Yeah, it's always fun to put the TV in the entry of the apartment, but
I can imagine. Oh, family, unfortunately, I need to modify something in my lab. I'm going to take away the TV from you. Sam, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Benny.
I really enjoyed that conversation. I hope you enjoyed it too.
Likewise. Always a pleasure.